Our next guest played for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Oh, there he is, Julian Okwara with the sack and the fumble, and tried to get to it. You tried to get to it, but your teammate took it away from you. And here he is at the Scouting Combine with us live. It's Defensive Lineman and Linebackers Day. Edge rusher Julian Okwara. Julian, it's great to see you.
Great to have me. Thank you.
It's been a crazy week, I think, for everybody, but I can't imagine going through what you guys go through where your whole week, right, is planned out, and you just have to go wherever they say. Do you feel like at any time your patience gets a little bit tested by just all this got to be here, got to be here, got to be there?
No, going to Notre Dame, there's a lot demanded out of you. There's no excuses for missing meetings, missing anything academic. So I think just coming here, it's kind of reminds me of Notre Dame. You hold yourself to a high standard, got to be there, be on point every time. So I'm just grateful to be here. It's a great opportunity.
The Scouting Combine eventually is going to entail your workout opportunity. They're doing them at night now. Are you going to do everything? Everything good to go?
I'm going to be benching, and I'll be running a pro day.
Okay. Oh, so you're deferring everything to pro day?
Yes, sir.
Is that injury reason, or is that just personal preference?
Personal preference. Just want to make sure I'm 100%. I don't want to give teams anything less than that. Just want to give my best.
How many teams have you talked to so far?
I've had about 7 formal interviews. I got 12 on tomorrow, so got a decent amount.
Strangest question you've been asked so far?
I actually haven't been asked any strange questions, surprisingly. I've been looking forward to that one, kind of waiting for that one to happen, but nothing crazy.
What would you ask you if you were the one doing the interview?
I don't know. I'm not good at coming up with questions, but I like answering them. They're pretty. I think it's a great way to kind of get people to know me. I don't know. I think a lot of people don't want to know who I am, and I have a brother who's in the league, and I think I'm a little different from him. So I think it's just a great way to show my personality, who Julian Okwara is.
Yeah, your brother Romeo is part of the NFL now. How much has that helped you prepare for what's coming?
Right, it's been awesome. I mean, he's a guy who went undrafted coming out of his college career. Just the path he's taken going into his 5th season, playing with the Lions next year. I mean, it's taught me a lot. Just work hard and the sacrifices he's made to kind of get to where he's at, and how he has to be consistent every day. Being undrafted, you got to work a little harder than the guys who got that first, second round pick. So just seeing the path he's taken and how grateful he is to be where he's at and never taking anything for granted.
And that really is a heck of an accomplishment. I mean, you got 256 guys usually or thereabouts who get drafted, and then you have this scrum of other players who still want to play and they have the dream, and to work and work and work and to get the attention of your coaches when the presumption is the draft picks are going to get the job.
Right.
To get a job as an undrafted player really is impressive.
Yes,
and it speaks to his character, and it's a good mentor for you.
Yes, sir.
As you learn the ropes in the NFL.
Right, yeah. I think it's a great honor kind of have him as backbone to rely on. Before I came out here, I talked to him a little bit, and he texts me every day, kind of make sure I'm doing okay. So I'm just excited to be here, really.
When did you discover football?
I actually discovered football. I started playing in 8th grade, but my brothers played it when I was in maybe like 5th, 6th grade. I was playing tennis and soccer and all these other sports. Grew up, got to 8th grade, and I was like, I would kind of want to be like my brother, being the younger guy of the house. You kind of look up to your older brothers, and I started playing football 8th grade, played safety. Highlight of my career in 8th grade was actually getting a pick 6 once because my brother actually got cut from the 8th grade team. So going into high school, I wanted to play tight end. My head coach at high school looked at me and was like, what's your name? He was like, you're an Okwara, right? He was like, no, you're playing defensive end, because both my brothers played defensive end at Audrey Kell. So it's just kind of cool to see the guys who supported me and my head coach who had the best interest for me and where I'm at right now.
When did you first have an inkling that you were going to have the skills and abilities to play football at a really high level?
Right. I think going into my sophomore year, I kind of started getting more comfortable with my body. In high school, I feel like I was really fast. I was dominating plays. Though I was on JV, I knew going into my junior year I'd be taking over the game anytime soon. So it was just a matter of time. I think just 8th grade kind of being like a little tryout season, and then 9th grade being a little warm up. Sophomore, I started feeling things out a little bit. Junior year, I really started feeling my body and getting to love football. Honestly, started watching a lot of it more. Watching my brother being in college at this point, I was watching a lot of his games and learning from him. So it's cool to have an older brother who goes through it and kind of learn from his mistakes and try to do better than him.
It gives you the confidence you can do it too. I think confidence is such an underrated part of this. You have to believe you can do it. You have to have almost to the point of delusional, like I can do this.
Right.
And you have to have that mindset in order to get the most out of your physical abilities.
Right.
this concept of domination at the high school level, and we've seen film from so many guys, and it just stands out. You can tell the guys that are going to make it. But when you get to the college level, it gets a little tougher. What was the transition like for you to go from high school to college, where you got a lot of guys who were dominant in high school?
Right. In high school, I mean, you go from being the best player on the field, transition to college. My freshman year, I actually went against guys like Quentin Nelson, Mike McGlinchey, Sam Mustipher, all those guys. They were top 10 picks in the NFL draft 2 years ago. It's crazy to see how far I've come. My freshman year, going against those guys, they definitely put me on my butt a little bit. Sophomore year, I think it was spring ball. That's when I really started clicking stuff. I was going against Mike and Q, and I was beating him. I was like, wow, I'm really going against these guys every day. And it was cool to look back at my freshman year when I was getting tossed around by those guys. I was like 220 then, so they were doing that with one arm, curling. They were curling my weight really. So it's kind of cool to look back and kind of see where I'm at right now. And 4 years ago, just how much I've grown and learned much about football and grown my body and kind of the way I play. And I think I just really started to feel myself and the dominance. I knew I could take over games whenever I wanted to.
How hard was it for you to go from 220 to 250?
It wasn't really hard. When I was younger, I actually didn't really feel like my weight was hurting me in the game. I felt like I was still a dominant player, fast, physical. But transitioning my junior year, I'd hear it in my ear all the time. People wanted me to gain weight, so I was like, all right, I'll give you what you guys want.
We've seen highlights of Quentin Nelson with the Colts and some of the things he can do. Right. So you've been on the wrong end of some of those highlights.
Oh yeah,
before.
Yeah. Him and Mike. I think there was one time in spring ball, I was beating him and Mike. I was getting one-on-one, and then I think one play they just kind of like, nah, we're gonna double team you. So they tossed me to the ground. So that was a little humbling moment from them. I stopped talking after that one. So after I got tossed to the ground, but by then I was like, all right, you guys got it.
I've never seen a big guy move like Quentin Nelson.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What's the experience like when you're there across from him or close to him and you see that blur that he becomes?
Right. So first of all, I think in the weight room, just seeing him in spring ball and the way he worked, I wanted to be just like him. That's a guy I kind of modeled my game after from afar. Though he was an offense, I'm a defensive guy, and just seeing the way he went about his business, how professional he was in the weight room, off the field, on the field, everything he did, his preparation, he would literally like hit the wall, like a solid concrete wall before games, and he's just a machine. Like it's all he does was work. His work ethic is phenomenal, and I wanted to be just like him. Everything he did was just so unique, and I love just watching him, taking notes, and just trying to pick his brain. He was actually one of my closest guys that I hung out with a little bit back at school when he was there. It was great to learn from those guys as a young kid.
Would you rather be his opponent or teammate at the next level?
I think I'd rather get a little redemption back at him again. I still got that little sour taste in my mouth. Him and Mike getting after me a little bit.
Of the two, which one would you rather face first?
Mike being a tackle, I'd probably go against him. I could rush at 3-tech too, so I'd go against both of them, to be honest.
Who's the guy when you get onto a football field at the NFL level, you're going to look out there and you're going to say, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm here on the same field as this guy?
Maybe Von Miller. Von Miller, Tom Brady, all those guys. I remember my brother when he first sacked Tom Brady in, I think, a preseason game or something like that. I think it hit him when I think he's sacked him like twice now. So it's kind of cool to kind of grow up and watch those guys when they're as veterans, and then me being a rookie, transitioning NFL next year. It's something I've been dreaming of my whole life. Just kind of crazy to see the path I've been coming from Lagos, Nigeria. A lot of guys don't really make it this far or have the opportunity to be in my position right now. So I'm just grateful to be here.
Yeah, walk me through the timeline. Born in London, and then you went to Nigeria.
Yes, sir.
Take me from London to now, where you've lived.
So I've lived. I was in London, born in London. My mom was there. My mom's sister lives out there. So I think my mom just kind of wanted to have babies in different countries. My oldest brother was born in America. Romeo was born in Nigeria. I was born in London. My sister was born in Nigeria. I lived in Lagos, Nigeria for 8 years. When I was 8 years old, moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. I've lived here ever since. I actually went back for the first time in Nigeria this past summer. It's just kind of crazy to look back and see where I was. And I never take things for granted. I think it really hit me that I'm really here and the opportunities I have in America. I mean, there's a lot of Nigerians who could come to America and really take over Notre Dame or take over the football game. There's a lot of Nigerians in the NFL, and everyone has high things to speak about them. I think it just comes to show about the character of Nigerians and how they're brought up and raised, and how humble they are, how hardworking they are, and the kind of people they are in the future.
Well, it's a great story, and we're really proud of what you've done, and we're impressed by what you've done, and we wish you all the best as you move forward in the NFL.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.